In the deserts of Sudan, a breathtaking sight rises from the sands, a forest of pyramids more numerous than those in Egypt. These are the pyramids of Meroë, slender and sharp, built as tombs for the kings and queens of the kingdom of Kush. For centuries, these monuments were overlooked, their stories buried beneath the sand. The city of Meroë was the heart of a powerful African empire that flourished for over 1,000 years along the Nile. These pyramids are not mere copies of Egypt's, they are the evolution of a shared tradition, adapted by a proud Nubian kingdom. The rulers of Kush once conquered Egypt, establishing a dynasty that sought to restore its former glory. The pyramids at Meroë stand as symbols of enduring power and cultural resilience. To understand their significance, we must journey back to a time when the balance of power along the Nile shifted dramatically. Here, in the land of Kush, a dynasty of black pharaohs emerged, not as outsiders, but as rightful heirs to a spiritual and cultural legacy. The story of the 25th Dynasty is how the ruled became the rulers, carving their own chapter into the epic history of ancient Egypt. Long before ruling Egypt, the Kushites built a formidable civilization in Nubia, modern-day Sudan. Known as Taseti, or the Land of the Bow, Kush was famed for its archers and immense natural wealth. Controlling vital trade routes, Kush funneled gold, ivory, and exotic goods north, fueling its cities and military. At times, Kush was Egypt's partner, at others, its subjugated territory. During Egypt's new kingdom, Kushite elites adopted Egyptian gods and customs, but their identity endured. As Egypt declined, Kush reasserted its independence, led by rulers from Napata near the sacred mountain of Jebel Barkal. They saw themselves as guardians of Egyptian tradition, chosen by the god Amun to restore order. This sense of purpose set the stage for an extraordinary reversal, the rise of the Black Pharaohs. The student was about to become the master, as Kushite kings prepared to march north and claim Egypt's double crown. Their civilization, once shaped by Egypt, was now poised to become its savior. The Kushite conquest of Egypt began with King Piye, a devout ruler of Napata. Egypt was fractured, ruled by petty kings and warlords, its traditions in chaos. Piye believed it was his divine duty to restore unity and honor the old ways. Around 730 BC, he launched a campaign down the Nile, recording his victories on the famous Victory Stele. Piye's army swept through Egypt city by city, offering leniency to those who surrendered and restoring Ma'at, order and justice. The campaign culminated in the siege of Memphis, after which Egypt's rulers submitted to Piye's authority. He refused to meet them, considering himself a purist in religious observance. Rather than rule from Egypt, Piye returned to Nubia, governing his vast kingdom from Napata. He had fulfilled his mission, reuniting the two lands and establishing the 25th Dynasty. Piye's actions laid the foundation for nearly a century of Kushite rule and a renaissance in Egyptian culture. The 25th Dynasty was a time of cultural revival and restoration in Egypt. Kings like Piye, Shabaka, and Taharka saw themselves as restorers of a glorious past, launching ambitious building projects. They constructed and restored temples, drawing inspiration from Egypt's golden ages. Taharka, especially, left his mark at Karnak with colossal columns and chapels. The Kushites were master artisans, blending Egyptian and Nubian styles in goldwork and sculpture. Their burial practices revived pyramid tombs, a tradition abandoned by Egyptians for centuries. Kushite pharaohs chose to be buried in Nubia, at El Kuru and Nuri, reinforcing their connection to their homeland. They preserved ancient texts like the Shabaka stone, safeguarding Egypt's spiritual heritage. This era was a renaissance of art, architecture, and learning, driven by deep respect for history and religion. The Black Pharaohs unified the Nile Valley and breathed new life into its cultural heart. Their legacy is one of restoration, reverence, and enduring influence. The prosperity of the 25th Dynasty was threatened by the rise of the Neo-Assyrian Empire. The Assyrians, armed with superior weapons, sought to control Egypt's wealth. Pharaoh Taharka initially repelled their invasion, but the Assyrians returned stronger, capturing Memphis and forcing Taharka to retreat. The unity Piye restored was shattered as the Assyrians installed puppet rulers in Lower Egypt. Taharka and his successor Tutankhamun made valiant attempts to reclaim Egypt, but the Assyrians' might was overwhelming. In 663 BC, Ashurbanipal's army sacked Thebes, marking the end of Kushite rule in Egypt. Tutankhamun retreated to Nubia, and the Assyrians installed a new native dynasty. Though their reign in Egypt lasted less than a century, the Kushites left an indelible mark of unity and cultural rebirth. Driven from the north, they turned inward, continuing their civilization in Nubia for another 1,000 years. The Black Pharaohs era in Egypt ended, but their legacy endured. Their story is one of resilience in the face of overwhelming odds. After leaving Egypt, the Kushite kingdom transformed, shifting its center south to Meroë. Meroë, rich in iron ore and fertile land, became the heart of a new era, the Meroitic period. The city thrived as a hub of iron production, earning the nickname the Birmingham of Africa. Meroë's mastery of iron fueled economic and military strength, with trade reaching as far as Rome, India, and China. Culturally, the Meroitic period saw a distinct African identity emerge, blending Egyptian and local traditions. The Kushites developed their own script, still largely undeciphered, hinting at secrets yet to be revealed. Meroë's rulers continued building pyramids, creating the dense necropolis that stands today. Their pyramids, though inspired by Egypt, were uniquely Meroitic in style. The move to Meroë allowed Kushite civilization to flourish independently for nearly a millennium. Adaptation and innovation defined this era, ensuring the survival and prosperity of the kingdom. The legacy of Meroë is written in iron, stone, and a script that still challenges us. The Meroitic kingdom was remarkable for the power of its ruling queens, known as Kandakes. These women often ruled in their own right, commanding armies and shaping the kingdom's destiny. The most famous was Amanirenas, who faced the might of Rome after Egypt fell to Augustus. When Rome encroached on Kushite territory, Amanirenas led a daring attack, sacking Aswan and toppling statues of Augustus. The Romans retaliated, but Amanirenas met them with fierce resistance, earning respect even from her enemies. After years of conflict, she negotiated a favorable peace, forcing Rome to withdraw and cancel its tax. Amanirenas' victory over Rome was a testament to the strength and resilience of Kushite queens. The Kandakes played a vital role in defending their kingdom and preserving its sovereignty. Their stories highlight the unique power and influence of women in Kushite society. The story of the Black Pharaohs reshapes our understanding of Africa's place in ancient history. It reveals a dynamic relationship between Egypt and Nubia, with power and culture flowing both ways along the Nile. The Kushites were not imitators but innovators, restorers, unifiers, and creators of a unique civilization. Their legacy challenges outdated views of Africa, proving it was home to great empires and world-changing leaders. After losing Egypt, Kush thrived for centuries, adapting and flourishing in Meroë. Warrior queens like Amanirenas stood up to Rome, embodying resilience and strength. Today, as we uncover more of their story, we gain a richer, more complete picture of our shared past. The Black Pharaoh's legacy belongs to all humanity, a testament to power, faith, and the enduring spirit of Africa.